Dispelled 2020. Everyone was ejected.
A portal? Let's go inside.
Salem
This is
1692.
I'm not a witch, I swear.
She's a witch.
Whither did he come from?
I'm Red. We came from the year 2020 via that portal.
Then wear these.
Who is the imposter? The witch amongst us.
I think I'm a time traveler.
The imposter signed this book with blood. Who was this imposter? We need to execute them immediately.
If Puritan among us existed, crewmates and imposters would be in a lose-lose situation. Crewmates will lose their lives, and imposters would lose their property and go to hell when they died. Lying was a sin, after all.
I'm not the imposter.
That is a lie, Red. You could go to hell for that.
Satan is definitely controlling you to say that.
Disclaimer. The following animation is a parody of The Crucible, Town of Salem, and Among Us. I am not affiliated with Arthur Miller, Blank Media Games, or Innerslick in any way. Some of the details in this animation are historically accurate to the witch trials, but some of the other events aren't as accurate. For example, the Puritans did not really wear colorful outfits, but they did accuse each other for witchcraft. We hope you enjoy this animation.
There are witches among us, too.
Well, this seems familiar.
These witch hunts were done in a Town of Salem-esque fashion.
Now you look like us.
That seems kind of sus.
I cannot lie. It is not me.
Was Satan controlling you?
No!
That seems kind of sus.
Time traveling? That's exactly something a witch would do.
Wait, I can explain. Follow our religion or go to hell.
Things changed during my day.
We received a word of warning. Martha Carrier has been accused for witchcraft lately by Benjamin Abbott, so both the crewmates and the townies must discuss on whether Martha Carrier is guilty or innocent.
Intriguing.
The town must decide on Martha Carrier's fate.
She seems sus.
She's innocent.
Martha Carrier has been found guilty. She will now be lynched. Martha was a witch.
Who could this sneaky witch be?
We have to stay Puritan, or we'll be kinda sus.
It's always you!
It wasn't me, I swear.
Someone signed it. Who was it?
You seem unfamiliar.
Mary sus.
Mary was not a witch.
I don't see anything sus.
Time traveling is witchcraft. Those guys are witched.
Abigail sus.
Pig is a witch!
Pink was not the imposter.
Spectral evidence does not exist.
Execute Ruth. She lied to us. I just think she's a witch. That's all. Time traveling is form of witchcraft. I swear. There must be something wrong. I swear. Satan was guiding her. I swear.
Execute her anyway. She lied to us. She is sus.
Sigh. I guess I'm dead. So, am I in hell or heaven right now?
Red and purple are trying to accuse me out of nowhere. If it's all me, vote them next.
Stop lynching people for no reason.
Ruth is innocent, but her property must be confiscated.
It's Cyan. Vote Cyan.
What? If not me, vote Sarah next.
Cyan was not the imposter.
I see Sarah's name on this book. It must be her.
Hi, Cyan.
Hi, Pink.
Orange, save me.
No.
Sarah Good will now be lynched. Sarah was a witch.
I was right.
Maybe you aren't sus after all.
Sun sets on the Town of Salem. A wolf howls at the moon while a witch cackles in the night.
Spectral evidence sus.
Ruth was controlled more than she was a controller.
Abigail's right.
My door's locked. Who locked my door?
That glint in her eye. Is she a witch?
Huh?
This lesson is about foils.
You mean this kind of foil?
Wrong kind of foil, blue. I mean characters who juxtapose each other, like an angel and devil. We found Bridget Bishop dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found Mary Johnson dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found John Willer dead last night. He was hanged for witchcraft. He was not a witch. We found Mary Easty dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found Martha Carrier dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found Mercia Lewis dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found Alice Parker dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found Mary Warren dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found Alice Young dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found George Jacobs dead last night. He was hanged for witchcraft. He was not a witch. We found Samuel Wardwell dead last night. He was hanged for witchcraft. He was a witch. We found Sarah Good dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found John Hale dead last night. He was killed by a witch. He was not a witch. We found Abigail Williams dead last night. She was killed by the imposter. She was not a witch.
It's Tituba.
I am a witch.
Action.
Was ejected.
Wait. Who am I? Do I even have a name? It's like I hide deep within the shadows.
She's a witch!
I'm a bit nervous.
Was not the imposter.
I got lost from the filming crew, and now I'm dead.
Well, there don't seem to be any wires I can fix.
I typically spell it as P-R-O-C-T-O-R, and I am P-O-S-T-O-R with an O-R, and not as P-R-O-C-T-E-R, and I am P-O-S-T-E-R with an E-R. That's how I typically spell these words.
Who are the other witches?
Red and purple?
Red and purple were not imposters.
Oh.
The imposter's still alive. I'm getting paranoid.
She's a witch!
Stand trial or else. No. More. Wait.
Giles was not a witch.
He refused to stand trial? Giles Corey sus.
Keep the fire going. I'll die if it gets put out in any way.
Green! That was the sacred text! You can't burn the sacred text! You'll burn in hell for that!
Oh.
You're not reading the right book! But I don't want to read that book.
Don't execute me.
I'm actually being controlled by Orange to do that.
Burn him!
Green was not the imposter.
Lesson learned. Never burn the Bible in front of the Puritans.
Better keep those fallacies in mind. That is a red herring, Orange. Red herring, sus.
You're super sus.
Next time, he really should just use charcoal.
That was the sacred text? I hate it.
Green mentioned orange.
Green always lies. He should definitely burn in hell. Let's execute White.
White was not the imposter.
I don't know, Black might be kinda sus.
Bro, you are black.
Lynch him.
He looks like a wizard.
Weird.
Black was not the imposter.
Red, sus.
Red was not the imposter. I don't think that this would be considered irony, but it would be considered ironic if a fire truck was set on fire.
Our numbers are dwindling.
And yet the imposter is still alive.
We have to hurry.
Spirits! Align yourselves! Who locked my house? Who would do such a thing?
Oh, poor Betty.
We found George Burroughs dead last night. He was hanged for witchcraft. He was not a witch. We found Sarah Wells dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found Anne Higgins dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found Anne Sear dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found Giles Corey dead last night. He was brutally squashed to death. He was not a witch. We found Sarah Osborne dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found Sarah Bishop dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was a witch. We found Martha Corey dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found Dorothy Good dead last night. She was hanged for witchcraft. She was not a witch. We found James Russell dead last night. He was killed by a witch. He was not a witch. We found William Hobbs dead last night. He was killed by a witch. He was not a witch. We found Lydia Dustin dead last night. She was killed by a witch. She was not a witch. We found Elizabeth Howe dead last night. She was executed by the jailer. She was a witch. We found Betty Paris dead last night. She was killed by the imposter. She was not a witch. Huff. Huff.
Narrator, are you okay? Orange, you're breaking the fourth wall! This is witchcraft!
Is she a Nazi? Is she a communist?
Blue, you're breaking the fifth wall! This is witchcraft!
The portal. It's opening up.
Elizabeth safe.
It is not you either, Yellow.
I think Ruth forced Betty to kill herself.
It wasn't me! It's Rebecca, I swear!
Ruth was not a witch.
Vote Francis next.
I am a leader.
I don't care!
Francis was not a witch.
Vote Rebecca next.
Rebecca was a witch.
We should stop the trials. We're killing way too many innocents.
We agree, Blue.
Tetuda was a witch.
We have to find the imposter quickly, or we'll be stuck in 1692 forever.
There is still one witch left among us. We have to find her. Oh.
Witches do not exist. So? We have to end the trials. This is perfect.
I think Orange jumped into that hole over there in Yellow's house.
We received another word of warning. Elizabeth Proctor has called an emergency trial. However, it's night time, so trial cannot be held. I will set the time today immediately.
I saw Orange kill Yellow. Her name was also on this book.
Elizabeth sus!
Elizabeth always speaks the truth.
Lynch Orange.
Orange was the imposter.
We've done it, Blue. We found the imposter.
Thank you for your help, Elizabeth. Sadly, I have to go back to the year 2020.
Adieu.
I am glad that we have found the imposter. There it is. Let's go back to the present.
The Scout 2020.
That was intense. Oh, all my friends, they died.
Everyone believes in the God, so God is real.
I don't care about your stupid beliefs. Why should we believe the Bible?
The Bible is infallible.
How do you know the Bible is infallible?
The Bible is the Word of God.
How do you know the Bible is the Word of God?
Because the Bible said so.
But why should we believe the Bible?
The Bible is infallible.
Bro, you just went full circle. I need proof.
God told us to believe in Him.
Screw your religion, I'm out of here. That seems kind of sus, Orange.
No true Puritan is anti-religious.
I'm Puritan, and I'm anti-religious.
No true Puritan is anti-religious!
That is so anti-Puritan, Orange. She must be the devil's agent among us.